Hi, and welcome to Life Changing Solutions Live. I'm super excited because I have a really good friend of mine who finally decided to join me today.
Thank you.
Brad Singletary. He's an LCSW and so much more than that. Personally, I really enjoy your passion, and honestly, it's like he was a professor of mine when I was going through my master's course, and he was one of the ones that really inspired me to do parenting. He really, I don't think I ever shared that with you.
No, that's great to know, though. Thank you.
Yeah, because you were so passionate about, and that's why even now I refer to myself as a relationship architect, because you're so big on relationships and just, the different facets and the dynamics of it, that I was like, you know what, I should really look into that, and it became kind of my purpose.
Then we lost touch, and I saw you on Facebook doing all these cool things, and I just had to find out what is going on with Angie, and I'm so glad I did.
I know, I geeked out when he called me. I'm like, there's just something, and thank you. When, somebody that you look up to says, hey.
I told you, you may be someone that I look up to at some point, so this is awesome.
Thanks. So what are you up to now?
Well, just living the dream. That's not sarcasm. I really do just feel like I'm having a great life. I have 6 boys. We're in a blended family, my wife and I. She made sure to tell me not to fart this morning. She said, "Don't fart in there on that studio."
Yes, thank you.
So very good family life. I have a private practice, which I'm trying to build. I'm trying to grow that into a larger health group, and just loving life right now.
That's awesome. And we have a few people coming on. So hi, Tommy, and my cousin, Maguitos, gracias. So, you went from working, and I know you just said you have your own private practice and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's how did that transition happen? Because you weren't doing that before.
So I've been in the field of counseling for about 20 years. I've always worked in an agency, and I just felt like I could, my influence wasn't, I wasn't reaching the kind of people that I wanted to there, and I was a little bit restricted. So I knew that if I had my own practice, I could influence the lives of more people, and I don't have now some of the restraints I had before. For example, some places say you can only see them, see your client 6 times and so forth, and I just really appreciate being able to do it the way I like to.
And, so one of the things too is that you got married. As you said, you have 6 kids.
Yeah, 6 boys.
Right? That's awesome. How do you handle all that?
Oh, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Somebody asked me the other day if they knew me by first name at the emergency room, and I told them no. I do all the stitches myself.
Just learn how to do it on your own. And then I just really I've been watching you also on social media and catching up with you, and it's just you're such that guy, the dad, and you go camping, and and you have your own private practice, and it's just how do you manage all that?
I don't know. I don't even know how I manage it. I love what I'm doing right now. I love my family. I love to help people. The thing I think is the greatest about my job is seeing the lights turn on for people. And people sometimes ask me, Brad, how do you do this job? How do you listen to people's problems all day? How do you handle this emotion that's coming at you all the time? And what I find is that people can change. Everybody can improve, and they generally do. And I guess if they've dropped off and I don't see what happens, and I don't hear from them, I don't know the story, but in almost every case, even if it takes years with people grow and change, and they can heal their lives, and that's actually pretty inspiring for me. It's not hard at all. I don't see it as work. I love what I do every single day. I wake up and I'm just thankful for a chance to do what I'm doing.
And that was actually one of the things that, even though in counseling and all that, you're constantly told that you got to meet the person where they're at in unconditional positive regard, but there was something about you and the way you taught it and the way it landed for me was really meeting that person where they're at with compassion and understanding, and it's they're doing the best that they can.
Yes.
And so that was something that really inspired me, as I said, and I see that you're still about that.
Yes. I think it's just helped me be a lot less angry just as a person, and our expectations of people really get us in trouble sometimes, and when we realize that people at any given time are really just doing their very best. And if today that's ugly, give it some time. A lady told me one time, my kids didn't turn out very well. And I'm about 30 years old at the time, and I said, well, when do they stop turning out? When do they stop growing? I feel like I grew up when I was 38 years old. That's when I became an adult, 38. I'm only 42 now, but So I'm a young adult. I guess, will that work? Can we say that?
That works. We can make up whatever we want, but no. So, but I hear you, and it's just like I think that personal growth doesn't end until you die, really.
Yeah.
And like you said, that expectation, something that I used to tell, because I sometimes run parenting classes, and I tell my parents, it's like, you know, in the 18 years that I've done this, in one facet or another, it's like I've never once heard a parent say, I wake up every morning trying to screw up my kid.
Right.
You know, it's like they're doing the best that they can
Yes.
with what they know, whether it was how they were brought up or, you know, what's going on, their own stressors or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, there might be some unfortunate turnouts.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that's all they could do in that moment. So,
right. You know, something that another important thing that I've learned to add to that recently, though, is that people are doing the best that they can, and they can do better. They're doing the best they can for today, given their circumstances and how they were built and how they were raised, and, you know, their body chemistry and so many different things affect our behavior. But people can change, and so while we can accept where someone is right now, even yourself, it's also important to know you can change. And if something's not going the way you think it should, open your mouth. You know, come and talk to somebody.
or come and talk to you.
Yeah, come and talk to me.
Right? Because in that way, and is that how you operate? You kind of start at ground zero where you're at, and let's see where you can go.
Yes, I just want to find out what's not working for people. What is where do you want to be that you can't you're frustrated and that you're not able to get there. Most people have tried many things and are working at it in some way, but they're just a little bit stuck, and people can get unstuck, and that's what I want to help them do.
And there's something that I like that you said, because I also use that verbiage, is what's not working versus what's wrong with you.
Yeah, right. Yeah. The process is the problem usually, not the person. You think about a relationship or in business, it's rarely ever the people. You're rarely ever with the wrong person. You have a really sick process about communication and how you get things done, how you work toward goals together. And that's what I love about therapy and the coaching process is we can look at what are you doing, not who you are and how you're broken as a person, but what's wrong in this process? How do we fix how we do what we're doing?
Okay, and how can we find you?
BradSingletary.com is my website. I'm also on Facebook. I guess maybe you're linked to me here where they can, if they're coming from your page. But yeah, BradSingletary.com. I'm in Henderson. My phone number is 702-758-4949. Feel free to text me at that number or call.
And I think also your website will be on the screen too.
Yeah.
But so what's your message if this is like the one thing that you want to get and tell your audience?
This is my nugget?
Yes, this is your
my
nugget.
How much time do I have for my nugget left
You
here?
got 2 minutes.
It's funny, nuggets. You remember the Carl's Jr. commercial where they said chickens don't have nuggets? And so I have all these 6 boys, and every time they talk about a nugget, they're talking about their balls. And so anyway, it makes me laugh when you said bring a nugget. Anyway, I guess for me, the thing that would make the most difference for people is to take a look at how you interpret things. Things happen, and we have to make sense of what they mean. And sometimes our interpretation is off. And interpretation means really to take something unfamiliar and change it into something familiar. You speak Spanish, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't. And several times I've had to have interpreters come into my sessions or in classrooms for different languages. And what they're doing is they're taking my unfamiliar English or my unfamiliar words and changing that into something familiar for the person. So we're doing that all the time. Something happens and we have to say, what is this? What does it mean about me? What does it say about the world? What can I conclude about what just happened? But we do that in a 1 second, very kind of unconscious place. We don't know we're doing this, and that's what I can help people do is slow themselves down and just realize that the way we see the problem sometimes is the problem. Interpretation is really, I think that's what gets us in trouble so many times, and that's what I like to help people with.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. And I really, I can feel your passion. Not only have I experienced it, but I can see it and hear it. And I love how well-rounded you are. You're like this amazing dad, great husband, and, now like still living your passion and wanting to support other people and wanting to make that impact in people's lives. So I personally appreciate you.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate being here. Hey, Danny Vegas, check out Danny Vegas, Alta Wellness Center. They're all just wonderful people. I went over there for a breakfast here a couple weeks ago. I met Asher, and I already knew Ron, so check those guys out. And Danny Vegas here is doing awesome things. Get yourself in here to this studio, you guys. Get a hold of Angie. This is a really cool setup. I'm telling you, I'm going to be back. I promise you.
Well, thank you for that. And everybody else, this is it for this segment. But stay tuned for segment number 2. And again, thank you. And I think you're going to be joining us in segment 4.
Thank
So, so stay tuned, guys. Bye.